Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the New Era Paranormal podcast. Tonight's event will be unique. We're going to be talking about our investigation series as part of Private Eye Paranormal. Um, Back in this last summer, Irene joined me as a co-host for the New Era Paranormal podcast. She was also part of Private Eye Paranormal. I was looking for a project to film, and she brought up this idea of filming for this team. And you guys had some goals of different things that you wanted to accomplish with this series, right?
Yeah, just have some fun, investigate some newer locations that hadn't been investigated before, and to kind of take your approach to it.
And as far as the Private Eye Paranormal team, how did you guys come together? Join first forces. What was that story?
We were actually at an event at the Writers Inn in Painesville, Ohio, and Irene and I had stayed to do an investigation there, and there was an event the next day, and we were just sitting there chatting, and Donna and Deanne came by. They were walking by. They had their EMF detectors on, and every time they turned towards us, it would light up. So we said, "Come on over," and then we got to talking about ghosts, and we joined a team. So
we came together as a team, actually.
Yeah, we did.
Donna, did you want to add anything?
No, that's how it went down.
Your EMF detector found us.
And Donna, were you and Brian already investigating and building the equipment at that point?
Well, we were trying to get involved in investigating. We were already building equipment. We were just tinkering with it. And then Irene invited us to a hunt, and we were like, yeah, let's do it.
As far as new locations, we had 7 places that we investigated this season.
Oh my god, was it that many? It's all a blur.
And yeah, we didn't really do anything that was too popular. Just we are going to do the Doss House. Doss House has its own reputation, own following now.
Yeah, it's become pretty popular.
For which one?
The Doss House.
Oh, yes.
Eagle Hotel. Go ahead.
No, it's a great location. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be our 7th investigation. It's going to be the last one that we chronologically filmed this year. It was part of the first season for the series.
It's a great way to come to the conclusion for this season. That's pretty good.
Yeah, because there's definitely going to be activity, and we did a podcast interview with Shauna, who was the first and last guest of the actual interview season. And Irene was already picking up on stuff.
Yeah, that was crazy. Things were coming through on the actual show. And usually, you can hold stuff back once in a while, but it seems like whenever they're on, activity shows up. So, especially the last time.
So the very first location that we investigated together was actually the Livingston County Poorhouse, which is a location that I worked with through NEPI. It is the county farm for Geneseo. because in 1824, New York State made a law so that every county in New York State had to create poorhouses for people that could not live on their own. The actual building that we investigated was built in 1850, and the areas that we investigated were the resident housing. The center area that we were not able to investigate was where the superintendent's was. We had the original burial ground out back.
Oh yeah.
Really picked up on a lot there, and was really the first one to be able to investigate that spot.
That was a good spot. We had activity there too. A lot of interesting things came through.
Yeah.
And overlap from your previous investigation too. Some things overlapped. So that was good to get that validation.
And this poorhouse connects to the Rochester Orphan Asylum, Willard Asylum, like all kinds of famous locations in New York State because of where everybody was shipped around. So as far as actual activity, first whistle that we got for the season was actually in that cemetery. Here's the clip.
When we were in the graveyard, which we haven't really focused on the graveyard before that visit, during the day there is a whistle that was heard on the camcorder.
Walk and turn around. Is that okay? You don't have to. I'm not going to run off. So there's a long, dark-haired woman. Oh, I heard it.
I did have a second camera angle because we had a GoPro running in the background. It was basically a secondary camera, but it helped to get some really cool roll shots because it's got the wide angle to it. But it was not heard on the second camera.
Wow.
Okay.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Walk and turn around. Is that okay? You don't have to. I'm not going to run off. So there's a long, dark-haired woman. Yeah, you
Obviously,
definitely don't hear it.
I'm sorry, Irene.
No, I'm just saying that you definitely don't hear it on the second one.
Yeah. I just was going to mention that obviously there is a cut, but that's after the whistle would have happened. So
What's like? I don't remember that many bird noises, and it was
Yeah, in the
so
winter.
cold there. That's what's really interesting to me. And I know that was distinctly different than the birds that we were hearing, but I don't remember that many birds either.
Yeah.
When we were going through the filming.
Yeah, the whistle, I mean, people will be like, oh, there's birds, but the whistle is definitely different from the birds. So
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a person that walks by at that time, but they would have been closer to the second camera, so it would have been easier to hear the whistle. Obviously, it wasn't any of us. So
No. Yeah.
I was really anxious to investigate that one room that was in the Livingston that the floor was not stable, so we couldn't go into it, but that would have been hopefully they do something with the floor.
Yeah. Was that the second building? In the first building? I can't remember.
JD was I think it was the first building. It was right below where the judge's chamber would have been.
I'm not sure. It probably was the second building. It was probably above the hair salon.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
unfinished section.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. Yes, what you're talking about. There was
Well, with you
there was-
feeling uneasy there, there's supposed to be a different or the same shadow that's seen in the, somebody that just paces back and forth.
Yeah.
yeah, that was interesting. It's an interesting space. And just, yeah, that building alone too, it was weird. It just, I don't know, it just had it had a vibe of its own, and each individual place that we went to had a vibe. Like a completely different scene that I would see whenever we would walk into each spot in one location. So it wasn't always continuous from where I started to where we ended. It was just like, here's all this information, here's all this information, and then
Yeah.
so it was individualized.
And then that property is leased to different businesses. So that creates an interesting energy.
And then the whole Native American component too that jumped in. That was all pretty interesting.
Well, now Geneseo, Stony Geneseo, Chris Tessere, I think is the proper way to say his name, which actually ties into the second investigation that we did, Eagle Hotel. But the Corker tree, which is one of the landmarks for the Native Americans in that area, is what caused this guy to have his experience at SUNY Geneseo,
Oh.
which is that recent story that popped up. Well, it didn't pop up, but it gained viewership because the James Wan from the Conjuring series made reenactments, recounts of these stories, and that happened to be one. It was selected.
That's pretty cool. It's crazy
Sure,
how everything.
Go ahead.
It was just crazy how everything connects in some way.
Yeah.
I don't. It's and you don't expect it, but it all kind of comes together somewhere.
Me and nephew will be working with the poorhouse and trying to do more with it here soon. So
That's cool. You should open up more investigations. That place definitely should be investigated regularly.
well, we had a couple of nonprofits come in, and actually, you've seen the footage of one, which in the basement we did a walkthrough, and we actually got some interesting activity. I guess seeing it doesn't appear like anybody's watching at the moment, I'll show this whole package that I made for the shadow.
There's something down here that makes itself seem scary. It comes off as a shadow person, but it's a male energy. What was that?
I am not sure, because they're not here.
Yeah, very clear, like it was trying to distract us, trying to get us out of the area so that it didn't have so much attention on it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then Danica has a personal experience right after.
I did? Let's see. Yeah, very cough. It sounded like a kid. Like, you know that deep chest, like,
Yeah, the one they cough in your face,
yes.
and you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I just got sick because of you. Yes, that's exactly what I heard.
That was immediately after we had walked away, and we came back, and Donna was with us also.
So that was our experience for the shadow. You started to pressure it.
Yeah. You know what was interesting though? In the beginning of that video you replayed, I never noticed before, but it kind of looks like there's a shadow in the lower left corner.
I noticed that also.
Like,
Just noticed
I didn't
that.
notice that before. Yes, and that wasn't from anything. Like we didn't. It's not like we had light shining behind me
No.
or anything to cause that kind
It
of
was
shadow.
pretty dark down
It was
there.
a really quick wisp of a shadow just when we started talking about it. And then
Yeah.
we heard the knock, and it went in the direction of where the knock would have been. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because, like with light anomalies, orbs, if people believe in that, there are moments of evidence where something happens and then orb shoots out or goes in and then a directly
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. Hey Donna, why don't you give us a little bit of a vibe of what the vibe you felt when you were down there?
In the basement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the shadow figure and I don't remember, but I know that it was pretty creepy. Weren't there a lot of rooms down there that we were walking in?
Yeah, just random rooms off like not hidden, but
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
here's a room. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was interesting.
Yeah.
And then one of the nonprofits that I had come in actually experienced a very similar thing to what we experienced.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the second half of this clip.
I'm covered in goosebumps head to toe right now.
Yeah, and it was full battery.
The moment I came out here, I saw this huge black shadow standing in this doorway, and it looked like the shape of a human body. And I said, Victoria, come out here. I want to see if you end up where I saw something.
Was it overly sized?
Yes.
Because there is a man in here that's large, very large.
Yeah, it was like, I would call it huge.
You should have gained a lot of energy turning off.
See the black plastic bags behind it, because
Should
there
have
was
used
like
the
an
battery so it would
illumination
gain
coming
energy.
from right next to it, from the green grid light.
There was a thought, I thought. Jesus.
Like that?
Rochelle, you didn't do that.
No, I'm not. It was the garbage can lid.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm right here. That fell down.
I love that. And I love when watching other people get excited about evidence that's the same, that
Yeah.
matches evidence we received. That's crazy.
Yeah. Somebody notices it, you pressure it to try to interact more, and it snaps and does something else to get attention off it.
And that's the awesome it's awesome going into places that aren't investigated a lot, because it's really validating when you don't have a list of, oh, go to this room and Suzanne is there, and go to this room and Bob is there, and you're getting your own evidence, and then somebody else, another team is coming in and getting the same evidence. Like then it's validation.
Yeah, and that's
Like
what we're
that-
trying to do with that location, because both my contacts there don't want it to be like the larger whorehouse that's in the area, the Rolling Hills Asylum.
Oh yeah. Well, I like that it keeps you objective too, and there's no risk of the that subjective information and the how when people believe something exists in a space, then it somehow creates it in the space. There's no question of that either. It just exists, and then somebody comes in later and validates it.
Guys, have anything else you want to mention about that place? We pretty well covered that place.
They were really welcoming. I mean, and you know what? It's that upper room, that attic kind of area that we were in. We had a lot of like different responses up there as well, and in terms of just like random things here or there. And that was a pretty active space. It was a big space too, that, with the rafters. Do you remember that area?
Yeah, it was a cold space.
Yeah.
We need to go in the summertime again.
It was cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very
Sure.
cold.
I was like, it's cold here.
Wasn't
it
the
was-
floor that you could fall through right below that big attic space?
Yes. Yes.
And then there was a bar below it because there was a lot
Yes.
of okay.
Yep.
And do you remember the people coming in and out for the bar? And I'm surprised that it did not contaminate like we thought it would. But the people coming out asking us, what's going on? Where are you going?
What are you doing? Oh, we're, doing paranormal investigation. Oh, like the looks you get.
Well,
It's
at
fun.
least they were intrigued and
Yes,
friendly
they were
about
very
it.
intrigued. They were very intrigued.
We should have offered to let them come and do, a solo in one of the spaces and just see what
And
what
fall
happened.
and fall through the
Yeah.
floor with
Not the
us.
floor, and fall through the floor.
Yeah. So the second place that we went to was the Eagle Hotel in Waterford, Erie, PA. That place was definitely something.
Yeah. That whole
It was
area was something. The town
Yeah.
itself.
It was a fort. Well, it was multiple forts. It wasn't just one. There was
Yeah.
cemeteries.
Fort
There
LeBeau.
was room.
We almost lost 2 team members or 3.
Yeah.
We almost lost Donna at one point. Danica went down into the snow. Remember, I had to pull you out of the snow, and
from the
JD went
snow.
down.
I fell in
outside.
the snow multiple
Katie was
times.
just making snow angels.
Yeah.
That was
It was
in
worth the risk.
February.
Except his snow angel was shaped like something from like a police scene. Like
The chalk outline. Danica left one deep hole,
Yeah,
and then
my
her
legs.
leg.
My legs just went straight down in. That was a very unique investigation because it was 2 buildings and across the street from each other. Both had totally different energies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had that great Paranormal session too, up on the stairs in the stairwell that we didn't get to see a ton of, but that was fun. That was a great experience. How, the randomness of that, how that occurred.
One of my favorite parts of the investigation is when we were over in the hotel and some people showed up. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
came in through the back door.
They randomly came in and were looking around, and that's the like the hazards that people don't talk about in an investigation regularly is,
Yeah.
you're in these buildings by yourself in the middle of the night, and then some strangers walk right into the building.
I think we're going to be renters for the space. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
But they didn't have permission to be in there at the time.
No, I don't know if they did or not. I don't know if they did or not. They didn't
No.
have keys or anything.
No, they just followed us in. And we thought it was paranormal. Like, they didn't say they were in there, and we thought we were getting activity.
Yeah, it
And we
sounded like
found them following the activity.
people walking around, and we were down in the basement at the time.
Is that
And
where
they
we
were,
were? I
yeah,
don't
we were
remember.
down in the basement, and we all went upstairs thinking, oh my gosh, there's somebody up above us. And it was actually somebody up above us. But when you're looking for spirits and you see a full-bodied person in front of you,
Yeah.
that's a little scary.
I'm more terrified of the people than the spirits, when we go into spaces. Except
That
for Donna.
place was interesting because there was a whole different story that we stumbled on that wasn't part of the documented history.
Yeah, that poor gentleman.
And
His-
that actually gave us another EVP whistle. So
Let's hear it.
If that was you, can you make another noise? If you can do that thump again, we'll go upstairs if that's what you want us to do. If that was you, can you make another noise? Yeah, it's whistling.
Hey, as soon as you are about to start talking, that was a whistle.
Can you make another noise?
We seem to like the whistles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get a lot of whistles.
It was just
That
those
was-
first few, so I didn't know what happened there, but it's what we got.
That's great though. Like, and that one was more like a, the other whistle was like a, and this one was, it was like a 2-syllable whistle. Like so you
Yeah.
couldn't miss it. You couldn't mistake it for anything. But he asked for another way to let them know that they were there, and they whistled a lot in the past. When they would want your attention, they would whistle. If you wanted a taxi, you'd whistle. Like it's normal. It's a normal response.
I know that a lot of us had a lot of personal feelings in that part of the hotel too. I know the 2 front rooms, I know I felt physically ill a few times. I think you felt ill, and just not well. So
Yeah. I feel like I remember Donna and the guys having like nervous or some kind of like eerie feelings.
In the hotel, on the hotel side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just uneasy in the basement overall. I
Yeah.
think the most exciting part was in the museum, and you were talking to a little boy on the steps, and
Yeah,
he
the
kept
paranormal.
setting off. Still wouldn't roll the ball, but he kept
Yeah.
still setting off like constantly.
Yeah. It was really like consistent responses. Yeah, and he wouldn't roll the ball for us. That just drove me crazy. But we can't ask for everything, I guess.
And then on the second floor, next to the bathroom, there was a room that had dresses in it. Danica, do you remember that?
mhm.
And we were
Yes.
getting responses from a lady that I don't know if she was the owner of the dress or you were talking up with her as well.
Yeah, and she may have had a little bit of mental illness. So it was definitely an interesting conversation with that spirit.
Yeah. She did. She was struggling and came through on the reading and the walkthrough. And there are connections too to wasn't Mary Todd Lincoln there at some point, or
Lincoln actually made somebody a general,
oh, okay.
like knighted him pretty much.
Oh, okay. So then it
That's
was
why they have the Lincoln veteran.
okay. Yeah, and somehow Lincoln seems to be a consistent theme in some of the places that we
Yes.
investigate. But that was pretty cool.
And the horse. I remember the horse.
Oh yeah, the horse
Yeah.
that died in the parade. The poor horse. But yeah,
I got
he
cut
came
off
in
the
right
road
away.
too.
Yeah. He was the first thing on the walkthrough. Horses. And of course the woman that led us around and hosted us.
Heidi.
Yeah, she was great. Like she was really supportive, very helpful. And she was very excited about the properties. So it was fun. It was a good experience
And
overall.
the spirit seemed to like to have her around, and
They did.
They did.
She had a good connection to them.
yeah,
Well, that love she has for the building too, and all the events and all the time she puts in. It makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
They were equally in their own way. They had their own equally like creepy, feelings or experiences that we, had. So, they were very unique, one building versus the other building. But definitely active, both very active.
Yeah. So the third location was the Cleveland Opera House, Playhouse.
Oh, the Cortland Opera House?
No, Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Center.
Which?
No, the tree lawn.
Oh, the tree lawn one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the tree lawn. The tree lawn is currently renting space to artists. They also have weddings there and ballroom. They have a ballroom.
They have some concerts there too, don't they? Or
Yeah, they have
events like
concerts, wrestling shows.
Oh, yes.
So they have a lot of things there. But that was originally opened in January 1st of 1927, and it opened as a Slovenian hall. So 18 Slovenian fraternal societies united in that building. It cost $76,000 to make. So,
So much.
only $76,000. But they added on to it. So they had, what was it, 2 floors.
Are you sure it was only 2? I feel like there was another floor, but maybe there's a third floor to it. There's a third,
where
because it was
there's
the basement.
apartment upstairs
Yeah, and
now.
and offices.
And offices. So it obviously has been pieced out since then, but they had actually built a bowling alley, which
Remember when we went down into the basement area? That was originally the bowling alley, but then they made it a bocce ball court. Is that the same one?
No, I think the bowling alley was actually where the pianos were.
Oh, yeah. And then the bocce ball was in the other part
And
of the
they
building.
put bocce ball in the basement. So they had a whole bocce court down there.
That was the one that was like totally random. You go down into the basement and there's this giant area full of sand.
Sand pits.
Yeah.
Sand pits. But it also has a bar, so they have live music there. And
Yeah.
the night that we were there, they were closed, so we were able to have the space to ourselves. But yeah,
Kind of to ourselves.
Yeah, kind of to ourselves. But yeah, a Slovenian home. So it was 18 Slovenian fraternal societies united. They ended up building the hall, so they had meetings there. They have full
Dinners,
full kitchen, fish fries, things like that. And so a lot of energy in there.
Yeah, and then they had the event center on the top with the stage, and then the dining hall. So they could have food upstairs and also another dining hall downstairs.
Yeah.
So actually, it was it's like pieced together where it almost has like four floors, because that dining hall was kind of its own level, and then you went down even farther into the basement. Yeah. So it had almost like it almost had like 4 floors to it. That was a big space. It was a lot to cover.
And now that it's all divided up, there's a bunch of different energies in that space that are conflicting all the time.
Yeah.
There's actually one room that we weren't able to access. It was down by the hall where they had all the art in there. And I think that somebody was storing their musical equipment or something in it. So we couldn't access that, but it was supposed to be one of the main lodge areas. So.
But I truly believe that I feel like spaces can affect people. If the space has activity, it can affect moods. And that was the space where we really realized that, people were being affected in some way, and the fact and how they were all acting. It's almost like they were kind of repeating dramatic history, having 18 different fraternities in the space. I'm sure there was a lot of drama and things that happened, and like they were like also experiencing the same kind of competition and drama over the space, which just was odd. And I don't want to say, I don't know them, so I can't say, I don't want to say out of character, but odd and out of the norm for how you would respond to people being in a space, and especially with permission to be there. And it was interesting.
And then a unique energy came out of all that. So tricksters.
Yes.
The trickster energies, yeah.
And I did feel like there was a lot of like old folklore energy there. So, people bring their beliefs from other countries and their superstitions. And I really felt, especially down the basement area, there were definitely, I don't want to say creatures, but like just different energies that weren't human.
Yeah. There was definitely something different in that space. And things can exist here that we can't comprehend, but you see randomly there's historical, like there's stories through history that like talk about these like beings or little gremlins or whatever, something throughout history. There's some kind of information where these tricksters kind of fit into things that we would expect to see in history. And you can't deny that something like exists or can affect a person's behavior, especially when we were getting those responses too. We were getting a lot of REM pod response, and especially in that side room, like off of the trickster room, we were getting a lot of REM pod response. And then when we were back in the space, that main area that we were in, it had just an, yeah. I think the combination of the people in that building that were kind of interrupting, I guess is a nice way to say, that were kind of interrupting, and then the space itself. And Donna, didn't you have experience down in the bocce area too?
Yes, that Brian and I went down there by ourselves, and it was. I think we got a few. I'd have to go listen to the recordings, but I think we got a few to where we booked it out of there because you weren't with us.
Sorry.
But it seemed like something from a long time ago. It didn't seem like a newer hibachi area. No, not hibachi. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It was really creepy.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
They said yeah. I said I laughed and said yeah. And bocce, yeah, you're right, bocce.
Hibachi, not hibachi. I must be hungry.
Yeah. Spray some sake in your
There's the shrimp done. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah.
Also, between you, Irene, and Donna, you guys experienced stuff or felt stuff in that main dressing room off the stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that would be their green room. Off the stage.
That was the room where we were all kind of sitting in together in a circle?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that outside area, there was something out there too. I could not. Yeah.
Yeah, you kept feeling like there was somebody outside the room.
Yeah.
Like somebody was either watching us or some sort of security. You kept saying something about security, like, oh, well, they're trying to secure us or something like that. It had a weird energy, like almost we were cornered in that room and like people were just out in the hallway outside.
Yeah. It was hard too because we had some interference during the day, so to try and eliminate that feeling and the feeling that we were getting, that I was getting there, it was, it made me uncomfortable. Not many things will make me uncomfortable or protective of the team if I feel it or if I see it. And it didn't feel like it would harm us in any way, but it just made me uncomfortable that it was just lurking. And so I didn't like that. But where that energy came from, why it was there, I mean, it could have been protecting and feeling the same way about us. We're in that space and they're protecting their space. So
we need to do another investigation. We need to go back without all the
craziness.
Yeah.
Without the trash cans getting moved around.
That was too, like trying to, we definitely got tested as paranormal investigators when we were there because, we had the one person that was moving things to make it look like paranormal activity was happening. And do you remember when we came back down and things were moved? And
I was like, wait a second here. This is different.
Yeah, we wish we get that kind of activity on our regular investigation.
Yeah, but we kept pushing through. We didn't give up.
We did.
Even though we got frustrated.
We definitely had experiences. We definitely got some evidence, and so it's good.
And we had EC3 there, and he came through and La Princesa,
Yeah,
yeah. And they
From
investigated with us, and they
NWA
were
Exodus.
hilarious. What?
From NWA Exodus.
Yes. And they were hilarious, especially when we put EC3 on the Estes method.
And I think that was the first time La Princesa had ever done an investigation. So it's always nice to bring some new people on that have never done it before, because they always have questions, and it like renews your hope and
Your
your enthusiasm and your we like teaching people.
It was fun.
So with the gremlins and everything in the basement, we actually did get some weird stuff that happens. So this is that clip.
If you're the tricksters, you're supposed to be the fun ones.
Yeah, we don't see very many tricks happening around here. JD, I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't care if you come and touch me.
Area up in Ocala.
Is that you or the box?
It was a box. It was like a
Ocala. You like Ocala, Florida?
Weird stuff that wouldn't happen.
The interference, yeah. And that was that side room area too.
You know, the camera ended up having something that sounded like a bug or electricity touched it, but there wasn't anything visual.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
the
you could
spirit
definitely
box never does
feel.
that.
Yeah, you could definitely feel the energy down in that area, like it was thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go. There was an overall energy throughout the space, but when you're in like the stage area, it had one energy. You'd go downstairs in the walkway area, and it was just, it had its own energy, and then it got creepier when you went into the side rooms, and everything just kind of, it felt like the farther down you went, the more, I don't know, the more uncomfortable things felt. I don't know.
But it's definitely a space that I would rent for an event. So
yeah,
if you're in the Cleveland area and you're looking for a place to rent for an event, they have a good space there. So don't let that deter you.
And catch one of EC3's events out that way. For Exodus Pro Wrestling, they go live too on the NWA site. So it was fun.
So the next location was the Cortland Opera House. It was only investigated by one local team before us. They didn't seem the most interested in it, but they helped and hosted us really well.
Yeah.
That location was built in 1841. It was the first Methodist church in that county. It was moved twice and was used for plays, school functions, and as the Grange Hall. Some additional Sunday services for this church. And then in 1987, it went over to the Historical Society. But it was falling into disrepair. And then we have done some work to revitalize it. And that's what we got introduced to. That place definitely had activity and energies about it. It wasn't empty.
No, it wasn't. But like first, you made a mention before we even kind of get into that. There was people don't realize when you go into new locations, you get people that are really, welcoming, and they're excited to have you go and investigate the place. They're more open to it, and you have people that might not be as open to having you investigate, or fearful that it might start some kind of negative reputation for the space. And so, while it's really cool to go in and be one of the first groups or to investigate the space, it does have some, some difficulties associated with it. But, we're willing to experience those things so we can get in there.
Yeah, because these aren't places that are rented out by multiple groups every night. Like they don't make their money with paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
So it's not like this advertised thing where they're all, there's groups going in and out, and they're, a lot of times it's it's historical society or a museum, or where it's not so all about the paranormal, it's about the history, and then there just happens to be paranormal there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so background for that place. When I was originally asked about, or we spoke about doing the series, I tried to do research about like different haunted locations outside of the big ones like Madison Seminary and Fairfield. This place came up, but you guys don't have like a haunted history trail like New York State where there's a listed directory of different haunted locations.
Even though we have a bunch.
That was something interesting for me to learn.
You know what, though? I think I bought a map a long time ago that names a lot of places with paranormal activity. Randomly, I found it in a bookstore. I'm going to see if I can dig
Ohio?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can dig that up. I never thought about that.
Dig that up. Ha ha
ha. Pun intended.
But just New York is also one of those places that has had a lot of paranormal research done in it for a long period of time.
Yeah. It's crazy
because go ahead.
It's crazy because Ohio has so much paranormal history as well, and it's just not brought up. It's more hush hush stories that are shared, and or the employees have experiences or things like that, kind of like the Golden Lamb that we went to. This was just Danica and I, where like the people that work there told us everything, but you can't find like a lot of paranormal history if you go online. And so, there's lots of places like that throughout.
And we were talking to some people just last weekend from different parts of the country where, I think Pennsylvania and Ohio and New York, they're very openly paranormal.
Yeah, but more Pennsylvania and New York.
But like certain parts of the country, like they don't talk about it at all. And you can't get into places, and like they look at you like you're crazy if you ask.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the that was good, but back to the we got distracted. Sorry. Danica and I go out on a
gave a really interesting piece of evidence that I'm not sure how to debunk it.
Sure, if the older man that's here is the image I'm being shown of the male passing away, but they're not. Male passes away mid-floor with family around him. Tall male. Skinny. Broom.
I'm actually, she just got the keys for the car. I'm actually, she just got the keys for the car.
And then I'm getting the keys.
Just got the keys for the car. I'm actually, she just got the keys for the car.
I hear it.
But what are they
it's
responding?
Not my voice.
No, that's
not you. That's not you at all. So,
and at the time, I think it was just Irene and myself and JD that were there at the time doing the walkthrough.
No, were none of the other guys were there.
That's not me. So
no. And we were talking about the gentleman that passed away, so maybe there's something connected. Maybe the 16 means something.
I think it might actually be 16. 16.
16?
60.
60. Got it. Maybe that's his age when he passed or the year he passed. But you can definitely hear it, and it's definitely a male while we're talking about a male in the reading. So that's pretty cool.
And I left everything intact to make sure that it's clear.
Good find. Good find.
Well,
And I still don't. I still distinctly in my memory when I first walked in to do that walkthrough, I looked to the right onto the stage and I saw nothing. It was like complete darkness. So there was something in front of me. And because when I went back and walked again, I could see into the stage area. And so I know something was standing there, and I still remember that. Every once in a while, like I'll think back about that investigation and I'll remember looking in and seeing nothing but a black mass. Nothing, just darkness. That's pretty interesting.
Do you want me to tell you what I remember most about that site? Do I have an echo?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Because I'm trying to figure out where to put my phone because my arm was falling asleep. So, do you remember at the very end we were in that room, the boiler room, and we were looking around, and Brian just came nonchalantly out? That's the first time I've ever heard JD scream, and we laughed so hard. That's the first time I've ever seen you with expression, JD.
I didn't scream. I yelled and jumped. But
Okay, so
okay.
It's your story.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was funny though.
Yeah,
and I
Well,
think
we
we
were having
got an
experiences way
EVP out of
before
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, their bathroom was creepy there too. I have to say, I went to the bathroom by myself one time, and I know it wasn't originally a bathroom. I don't know what it was originally, but the bathroom space was like somebody was watching you.
It's true. It wasn't me, I promise.
I don't know if you felt that way in the men's room, JD, but in the women's room, that whole area was like, ooh, like let's hurry up and get out of here.
Yeah.
I think we all felt that about that section of that building. It was weird. It was small, supposedly not that haunted, but got our biggest evidence. So
Yeah. We had you said you mentioned the EVP, the other EVP, and then the knocking. We had that knocking experience when we were down in that boiler room area, and then we had that thermal experience. So yeah.
I still have more work to do because I need to get all the footage for that section. But then our next investigation was the Stormy Ridge Frightmare Farm, and that was a unique experience because that was like an actual mystery, a cold case. Somebody just went missing, and I think that the body might be buried on that property. But then me and Dean, yeah, the two of us experienced like shadows walking by the panels in the lower section of the barn where you thought there might be potential grave sites. So
yeah. And we ran out. We looked all around. There was nothing there. And I went all the way around the barn too to see if anybody was around. There was no one.
Yeah,
actually,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Danica.
No, I was gonna say inside that barn area, remember it would be very, very quiet, and then all of a sudden there was like a tremendous amount of noise, like creaking, cracking,
from upstairs.
shuffling, but it would be quiet. It wasn't like a consistent, and then all of a sudden a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
So, but it made me think of with a shadow walking around, like it just like something and then nothing, and then something and then nothing, just like kicked up.
Yeah. Because that upper area, the back area did the same thing. You'd hear a ton of creaking like somebody was walking around, and then it would stop. So it was definitely consistent from the lower level to the top.
And that was the place where your ball fell.
Oh,
And we didn't get it on camera.
oh that's so
Yep.
painful. Thanks for reminding
Physical
me, Donna.
manipulation.
You bet.
An actual object got moved. So
Yeah.
Did you say ball manipulation, JD?
I said physical manipulation.
Okay, got it.
Doesn't sound any better, but
This is what poor JD has to deal with when he's with us on investigations. That's too funny.
yeah, that was all during the day too, and we had some big activity out of that place.
Yeah, we had that EVP, the ball dropping, the Get Out EVP, and then
Yeah,
the
Get Out.
walkthrough had a lot of crazy stuff. Oh,
Holy Ridge, June 14th.
So after Ashley
2025.
says her name,
It is 5:37
no way.
p.m.
Did you figure out what that was after Donna talked, or you and
I'm
Donna?
Irene. I'm Dia. Donna. Danica. Hair. Are you talking about me? Lynette. Ashley.
Oh my gosh! Here. Over here sounds better. You're standing right on it.
Yeah, that one was a good one. You could hear it. You didn't.
Yeah.
There was no adjustment to any of the audio. You can hear him say, "Get out of here."
Well, I added gain to it, but yeah.
Well, for this purpose, but we could hear right off of the recorder.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody did not want us there. It's so funny. You get a lot of get outs when you're paranormal investigating.
Well, I would want us to get out too if I was like hanging out in my, location and relaxing, and then all these people come in with equipment and want to ask me questions
Yeah.
and disturb me. I'd probably want them to get out too. So, and he didn't. The spirit, one of the dominant spirits there, the one that was hiding in the corner, and the one that's connected to the cold case, he doesn't want anybody to find out anything. He doesn't want anybody to be on his property. He didn't want that in life, let alone, in death.
Yep.
And I think he had a little bit of paranoia too. So
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, he wasn't okay.
No.
It's
But
interesting that he had a Facebook account, like it was that recent ago.
Yeah, when she mentioned that and when she was on our podcast, like that was just, yeah. And it had the images of like the old car. She said he had an old truck. So anyway, but yeah.
Donna, you got to get out of here. Work tomorrow.
Yep. Some of us have to work for a living.
What? We all work for a living, Miss Donna.
I'm kidding. But listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday. We'll chat
Yeah,
about the Parajam. Yeah, the Gettysburg first Parajam event. But I will see you guys Friday night. Please message me if you guys want me to. We'll talk about what we're going to bring. But thanks for having me on. Sorry, I'm tired. I spent yesterday at Cedar Point with the grandkids, and
I'm probably going to end up texting you a bit, Donna, before Friday. So
you're going to do what?
Text you.
Okay. All right.
Donna,
Guys, have a good night.
do you have anything to add before you jump off about the Fright Farm?
No, I just know that we had a lot of activity. We were using Beaver Creek, Beaver County paranormal equipment that he had made, and that was going. It was really exciting. It was a really good adventure. And then downstairs under the barn, there was a shadow that we saw. We all went running out. No, it was a good thing, except for something we missed the ball falling. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
I gotta tell you, when I heard that ball fall, and there were no cameras. Oh man.
It's usually me standing in front of the camera. This time there was just
And there was no way. There's nothing that could have pushed it down. There was no breeze. That ball was sitting there for I don't even know how long.
Yeah, it sat there for a long time before it fell.
Oh, it breaks
and
my
nobody
heart.
was up moving around it. Like we were all sitting.
Yeah, we were nowhere near it. I made sure it went far back, closer to that area where we heard the creaking, so it was farther away from everybody. So yeah, that was insane.
Then the next investigation was the one that we did with the Pioneer Paranormal Society at the college at Alfred State. It was a really special one for me. So,
well, because that's where you created the Paranormal Society there.
Yeah.
And it was so fun seeing them continue that legacy. And they were also
they were.
Yeah.
Were you able to catch anything? Have you checked any of the evidence for that one yet, or?
I have not edited that one yet. I'll probably wait to figure out where our series is going to be distributed, because I've got other stuff I'm working on right now.
Well, that's exciting. We had where was it? We heard the EVP on the stairs. We had them all line up the staircase.
Yep.
And we did the round robin. And I cannot remember, what was the EVP? It was after the one girl at the bottom of the staircase asked her question. I cannot remember what the answer was though. But she ended up getting a very clear response, and she was the one that was the most skeptical of everyone in the group. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That was fun.
Yeah. And there was a lot of energy in there. And even if we didn't catch a lot of evidence, there was definitely a lot of energy in there. We definitely had a lot of EMF spikes. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to with that investigation. I've just got a few things in the works. I'm working on the Canada series, special. That should be coming out before 1 year elapses.
That's going to be exciting, and that's with SIPA Canada.
Yep.
That was a great group of people to investigate with. They were fun.
Speaking of which, do you guys have inspirations for next year? I wouldn't mind returning to Canada.
Yeah, that would be fun. If we make at least one trip going out that way for sure. Make sure we get out there. But even going toward, areas like Buffalo and Niagara, like near the falls, where there's a lot of, that the water flowing and a lot of activity surrounding that area, because Buffalo, even if you drive down the areas of Buffalo near there, you really can feel a difference in the energy in the towns. So that would be fun too, to kind of get that experience. How about you, JD? What are you thinking? Or Danica?
I like the Buffalo idea.
Kentucky.
There's some Kentucky for sure. There's actually some lighthouses I would like to investigate. So I know they're not too open with that. I think a lot of them you have to get special permission, and it's not like they rent them out as spatial, but I think I'd like to do something with lighthouses.
That would be
Yeah,
fun. And there's a lot of like isolation there, and it could be a good trigger for paranormal activity.
I know the one in Ohio is active for the paranormal community. So
Yeah, that would be fun to try and see if we can get in there. I guess we'll see.
yeah. If anybody watching this has any recommendations, shoot us a message. Besides that, all of us are going to be at the Fair Jam this Saturday. Me and Irene are doing lectures.
Yay.
I'm going to be promoting something special, and that starts with actually the end of this episode. I've got a trailer made for something.
A new project.
Yeah.
It'll be
And it's probably
exciting.
going to involve all of us in some capacity. So
It's going to be fun. And you know what? Historically, I think it's a great project that, I'm not to divulge any information, but historically relevant and important, not in addition to the paranormal.
yeah. So I'm going to play that trailer, then end the show. So
All right. Thanks.
Yep. After completing the Alms House standalone documentary, the Neppy team shifted the Remnants project in a bold new direction. The vision was to launch a full documentary series beginning with one of the most powerful and historic subjects in New York State, the Underground Railroad. In our first year, we were only able to investigate 2 of these remarkable locations. The evidence we captured was nothing short of astonishing.
There was a rumor when I was speaking to the Historical Society people that might have been used as a stop.
They would meet here to do all their meetings, to move slaves to safer places.
He's not moving. He's just curled up in the corner. Do you just see like the outline of him? No, it's a young black man.
I truly think there's a darker spirit here that is suppressing the ones that once lived, that were humans in it.
I can hear you trying to get something out. Do not be harsh on Angela, okay? She's here to help you. Oh, you're good. You even had said one point they're crying, or someone's crying. There was a lot.
I almost want to say that there were rituals that happened in this building, but as crazy as that might sound.
This just got thrown down the stairs at us.